Probably my most controversial viewpoint, without a doubt, to this day. It has followed me. It probably never will go away. Is the fact that I'm against abortion. Why is this so controversial? Well, there's a reason. It's not because I'm the typical anti-abortion vocalist advocate. The reason why is because, and what's so difficult for many liberals to wrap their brain around, is the fact that I'm pro-gay marriage, I'm pro-animal rights, I'm pro-environment, I'm anti-death penalty, I'm very much anti-war. I mean, I believe you have to have a military, you have to protect yourself, but, you know, I just think, again, I'm a huge Ron Paul guy, as I've said in other videos. I just think the country's stretched too thin. We can't be in all these different places. You have to be here and protect your own country. Although, I don't mind bigger countries that have bigger militaries helping out smaller countries that need help. That is probably what separates me from other libertarians. I don't mind aiding other countries. It's probably what separates me from that group. But, you know, I take on a lot of very left-wing liberal causes. I've been very vocal about my anger towards the rape culture. I don't even know if you call it rape culture. It's a great word, but it doesn't even need to have to even get to that point where it's rape culture. It's just the sexualization of everything, especially girls, especially children. You know, so I've taken all these left-wing causes up, but then people can't understand how I can be against abortion. Well, the reason I'm against it, it's not a religious thing. People think, because I've said in other videos, I am Catholic. My anti-abortion views are not religious. It never came from my religion or my upbringing. The reason I'm against abortion is purely because of my animal rights views, my veganism, my environmental beliefs. And also reading a lot of, at one point in my life I was heavily into a lot of Buddhist literature. I believe in this concept that all life is important, no matter how big or how small. I feel that, you know, abortion is just, it disturbs me how casual the country is about it now. For example, when I was young, I knew it was out there. It bothered me, but I wasn't really vocal about it. It wasn't, at one time in my life, it wasn't worth something speaking out against. It didn't bother me if somebody was raped and they decided to terminate the pregnancy. I didn't think it was necessarily the solution. I don't think it made anyone feel better or made the rape go away. But I could see there were these rare cases where, okay, it was maybe had to be done. I didn't have an issue with that. What I had an issue with was when it became so normal. It became so routine. There's been close to 60 million abortions in this country since 1973. In this country alone. That doesn't even count the rest of the planet. And what really bothered me was, when I'd read into it, I'd go to many left-wing pro-choice organizations that had done statistics on abortion, and even these left-wing groups were saying, by their information, of these 55 million, 60 million abortions, maybe they're up to 65 by now, I don't even know what the number is at this point, that only 1%, 2% were because of rape and incest. So what other conclusion can I come to that this has become the new birth control? I just found it very disturbing. I think that there's like an abortion culture, just like there's a rape culture. It's the go-to solution, and it's just, I find that disturbing. I don't see how that's helping advance women in any way, shape, or form. So I kind of started trying to say, you know, vocally out loud, say, can we do better here? Now, I'm not a politician. I'm not out protesting at abortion clinics. I'm not out getting petitions signed to make abortion legal. I do none of these things. What I advocate and what I have always advocated is this, and I will explain it by talking about something I saw on TV the other day. I was watching The View, and Whoopi Goldberg, who seems to me she seems to be pretty well educated, pretty kind, loving person, outstanding citizen. I like Whoopi a lot. What I've seen of her on TV, and I don't know her personally, but one thing she was saying, and a lot of the women on The View were saying this, but especially Whoopi Goldberg, was that it's, and you hear this all the time, it's my body, my business, stay out of it. Stay out of my business, stay out of my body, etc., etc. That's fine, Whoopi. I gotcha. You have a great viewpoint. Here's my issue. You want me out of your business. You don't like my opinion. The abortion rights movement cannot stand people like me. They hate our beliefs. They hate what we're about. They don't like our view of the unborn. But yet they want us to pay for the abortion. Now, how does that make any sense? You're about choice, but yet our choice is taken away. You don't want us in your business. It's your body, but yet we have to pay for it. Her whole premise, Whoopi's whole premise, and she speaks for a lot of feminists, the whole premise, the whole ideology is, I want you pro-life people to have nothing to do with me. There's no exception. It's not, I want you to have nothing to do with me, but I want you to pay for the abortion. It's, I want you to have nothing to do with me. So therefore, why should the pro-life advocate have to pay for the abortion? Now, I don't think public tax dollars should go to Planned Parenthood. A lot of people have made the argument to me that, well, Planned Parenthood, they don't do, the abortions that they do are such a small part of what they do. Now, activists like Abby Johnson, who used to work at Planned Parenthood and is now an anti-abortion activist, she would beg to differ. But I'm going to block that out for right now, okay? I'm going to block out what people like Abby Johnson and Lila Rose and Judah Myers and all these people. I'm gonna block them out for a moment, okay? And I'm just gonna go with the feminists, with the left-wing pro-abortion view or abortion rights view. They don't like being called pro-abortion. The abortion rights view. They say that the abortion is just one tiny little part of Planned Parenthood. I don't care if Planned Parenthood only does one abortion every 10 years. I don't want to be part of it. I don't want to pay for it. I don't care if it's minute. I don't care if it's not done a lot. If it's not done a lot. I disagree with that too, but I'm going to let it go for the sake of this video. I shouldn't have to pay for it. Just as you have your choice what to do with your body, I have my choice. Problem solved. You get to have your abortion, I don't have to pay for it. Now, what I have always said is this. There should be a bracket on when you fill out your tax papers, literally, that have to do with life or death situations. There's only a few, because I've heard a lot of people make the argument, well, you don't want to pay for abortion, well, I don't want to pay for the death penalty, or I don't want to pay for war. That's, these things are going to killing people, I don't want to pay for that either. And I agree with that. If someone doesn't want their tax dollars to go to paying for the death penalty, then they shouldn't have to. I agree. I think there are 3 or 4 key issues that you should have, not a lot, it can be simply done, that the average American can choose whether or not they want their money to go to that. I have all the faith in the world that there are enough people that support any one of those topics or those causes, whether it's abortion, the death penalty, war. I'm sure I could come up with a couple more. I have all the faith in the world that those activities will still survive. There are enough Americans and people willing to donate money that will keep those institutions going. Abortion is not going to end because the pro-life segment of the country didn't give their tax money to Planned Parenthood. Just my opinion. Now, I've got a lot more to say about abortion, tons. But what I want to say is this, to finish up. I understand that we're living in, the new era of Donald Trump, where you've got a lot of conservatives that say rude, hateful things about people. But I also know there's a lot of left-wing people that do the same thing, because they've done it to me. I've seen it done a million times. I've seen people judge me, say horrible things about me, make things up about me, simply because I'm against abortion. My feminist views, everything I've done to stand up for women, to stand out against domestic violence, to stand up for animals, all my other left-wing causes, I've noticed, are completely ignored. They're erased when these people come after me. They don't want to acknowledge it, or if they do acknowledge it, it's in the sense of, look at this traitor, backstabber. He stands for these left-wing causes, but then he turns around and he's against abortion. I don't understand, and I'll close by saying this, how a person, an environmentalist or a vegan or an animal rights activist, can at the very least, even if they don't want to become pro-life, I don't understand how they cannot, at the very least, understand the point of view of a pro-life person. They always make it into this religious thing, this and that. At the root of it, many pro-life people, I believe, not all of them, but there is a growing segment that it's got nothing to do with religion. It's purely because, look at how we look at a baby. I've seen couples, and I noticed this, they get pregnant, they wanted a baby, they planned it. That woman in that couple, in that relationship, could be one day pregnant. And they're hugging each other crying, we're having a baby, we're having a baby. They're telling everyone they're having a baby. That same woman could be a month pregnant. And if she didn't want a baby, they're calling it it. It's a thing. It's a clump of cells. If you murder a pregnant woman, you could potentially be charged with double murder. I mean, to me, we say it's not a baby or it's a clump of cells or whatever, but then our actions, I believe, prove otherwise. They prove otherwise. We're taught in school about microscopic life. If they find microscopic life on another planet, they're saying we discovered life on another planet. So why in one situation, why does science say microscopic life is life, but a clump of cells, which may even be visible to the eye, or an embryo, I'll say, not a clump of cells, but an embryo, which we're calling a clump of cells, we can see that even without a microscope, and we're still not willing to call that a life. I don't understand it. I'm not out to get the abortion rights people. I'm not out to tell you what to do with your body. I just like some honesty about this. I believe neither side is really being honest. If you don't know why you're against abortion, but you're just against it because your church told you to, I think you're just as guilty as the left-wing environmentalist who's saying save everything on earth, but doesn't want to save the unborn babies. I think you both sound like clowns. You both make no sense to me. See, the thing with me is you may hate my beliefs are consistent. And just to finish off, it kills me when I hear people say and put words in my mouth and define how I feel about women. I, more than probably any guy I know, has gone out of my way, has almost got my head kicked in many times, standing in the way of a girl being harmed or women being harmed, or multiple situations where I saw some bad stuff was about to go down. There were girls right now that were in some really nasty situations, and I got them out of there. I got them out of the bedroom, out of the party. To grow up and suddenly now hear women, actual women who I've been trying to look after, now tell me, no dude, you got it all wrong. Because you're against abortion, that means you're a scumbag, you condone rape, you hate women, you're a Nazi. I've had all this stuff said to me. It is hurtful. I try to act like it doesn't hurt me, but it does hurt me. I never once meant any harm to any women. My anti-abortion views are not meant to be against women. It's because it depresses me that we've created this society, this culture, this vibe, where guys can go around, use women, get them pregnant, with no intention of having a baby, and now these women, their only choice is to go to an abortion clinic. I think that's messed up. That culture has to change. And abortion, unfortunately, to me, is the result. 50 million, 55 million, 60 million abortions, that's the result of that behavior. It's not good. It's not helping women. It needs to change. And abortion is part of it. I'm not going to shout out at one aspect of the problem but leave out the other. It's the abortion culture. It's the rape culture. It's all of it. It's the fact that Chris Brown beat the hell out of Rihanna, and then he comes to Boston, which is supposed to be this revolutionary, working class, tough guy country. This is the land where, or state, city, this is the land where the guys are, they're doing their push-ups. They, don't mess with me. I'm from Boston. I'll smash your head. But then Chris Brown shows up and no one says a word. Well, what's up? I thought you guys were tough guys. I thought you speak out against this type of injustice. Again, when push comes to shove, the average American alpha male scrotum cramp doesn't really stand for anything. He's a cramp in the uterus of the country, and all he really wants to do is drink his beer and not really stand for anything. At least I stood for something, or I can say I stand for something. Hopefully I did. I've got a lot more to say on this topic. Leave your comments. Please be respectful. And that's about it. Thanks again.